This week, let's talk about a situation that I see all the time. In fact, I recently saw this posted on Reddit. A parent wrote about their 2-year-old. That as a baby, he ate pretty well. He was willing to try new things, an adventurous eater. But as he's gotten older, he's about 2.5, he started refusing new foods. And so the parent was asking, what do I do? How can I help him enjoy more foods? Now, this family wasn't regularly eating dinner together, in part because of their schedule, which also meant that they were making a specific meal for their toddler, and in part because they didn't have a space to sit down together as a family. But they've just moved into a new house, and for the first time, they can actually sit down together and eat as a family. And this parent was writing, I'm really hoping that this will help him, that eating with the family, this eating as a family again, will stall, if not reverse, his picky eating. And so the parent was asking, what do I do? First of all, what I have said in the past, what feels like I've said a million times in the past, if that sounds familiar to you, you're not alone and you're not doing anything wrong. Picky eating, especially that which occurs between the ages of 2 and 6, is completely normal. There's even a name for it, food neophobia. Food neophobia is the tendency to reject or be reluctant to try new or unfamiliar foods. And, as I said, it is natural and developmentally appropriate. In fact, a recent review article published in 2023 analyzed thousands of articles on food feeding, child eating, food neophobia, found that between 14 and 44% of the populations examined exhibited some degree of neophobia. It's normal. And if you think about it, there is probably some evolutionary benefit to being young and afraid to try new things. It probably saved our toddler ancestor toddlers, from putting poisonous berries in their mouths. Unfortunately now, it means that your kid won't eat roasted carrots. But here's the thing. You can help your child get more comfortable with new foods. There is a lot that we know about this and a lot that we can do. The fixes are relatively easy if you just look at them on the surface, but they will not happen quickly. And they will not fix this problem of food neophobia or picky eating overnight. But with the right strategies, I promise you can make progress. So let's break them down. There are 8 of them. Number 1, repeated exposure is everything. You cannot offer a food one time and expect your child to decide if they like it. I mean, you can even expect to offer me something that's brand new and have me necessarily decide if I like it or not. And I have a lot of practice eating. Research tells us, and I've said this over and over again, it can take dozens of exposures for a child to try something before they decide if they like it. That's dozens of times seeing it. That doesn't mean dozens of times eating a whole pile of it. Included in seeing it is touching it, smelling it, yes, maybe even licking it before they actually eat it. So your job is to keep showing up and keep putting that food on the table over and over. Even if they ignore it, even if they push it away, even if they reject it outright, keep putting it on the table. Okay, number 2, do this without pressuring. This one is just as big. Coercing, bribing, requiring just one bite. It may seem harmless to us, but to a toddler, it is pressure. And when we put pressure like that, it often backfires. The goal is to make new foods be a part of the scenery. It's there. You might notice it if you happen to pause and look around. You might even enjoy it occasionally, but you're not being pressured to stare at it. Pick a food, serve it, let it sit there, and let your child decide whether or not he or she will eat it. The key to this is that is how you build trust. Because when they know that you're not going to push them, they're actually more likely to explore that food on their own. Okay, number 3, hunger helps. So if your toddler has had a snack 30 minutes before dinner, they're unlikely to be curious about your new vegetable side dish, no matter how long it took you to make it. Spacing snacks so that your kids arrive at the table actually hungry will help. Now, that doesn't guarantee that they're going to taste the broccoli, but it definitely makes it more likely that they will say yes to trying something new or sort of familiar. Number 4, I've said this before, always serve a safe food. Every meal, especially when you have a child reluctant to try new foods, should have at least one meal that you know your child will reliably eat. Maybe it's fruit, maybe it's bread, maybe it's that one cheese that they're obsessed with right now. The point is, having a safe food makes the meal feel comfortable. Now, that doesn't mean you serve piles of that. You can control how much you actually put out so they don't fill up entirely on that safe food. But providing a safe food sends a very clear message. There is always something for you here at the table. Okay, strategy number 5, try new foods outside of mealtimes. Sometimes dinner, it's just too much. It's too much pressure. So think outside the box. Offer a bite of something new while you're cooking. Make it a part of a snack plate. Serve it at a picnic or while they're playing. When it's low stakes and unexpected, kids can surprise you in how they respond. And I'll tell you, this has been the case even for my 12-year-old. She doesn't really like tomatoes. She never really has. Something about the texture just doesn't fit with her. But I was making a side dish using cherry tomatoes recently. She wanted to help cut them. I said, sure, come on in. And as she did, out of the corner of my eye, I saw her. And she popped a little piece of one into her mouth. And she didn't spit it out. Now, she didn't choose to eat the side dish later, but she did try the tomato. And I'll tell you, I took the win. And actually, that reminds me, quick little side note here. When this happens, when your kid tries the thing that you have been working so hard to get them to try, or the thing that you've never seen them try before, I have found it's also really helpful, as much as you might want to, not to react. As much as you might feel like cheering or praising them, in my experience, that also tends to backfire. So play it super cool. Okay, number 6, lean into the family meal reset. So for the Reddit poster in particular, this is where their new setup, having a space where they can all sit together, really works in their favor. Eating together as a family or just with others, it's a really powerful motivator of behavior. For one thing, when your child sees you or siblings or guests eating a variety of food, it normalizes that behavior. And they start to think, oh, that's just what we do. We eat lots of different things. Even if they don't try the new thing right away or after the 5th time, you are planting the seed. And family meals really are one of the best investments you can make in raising a confident, flexible eater. But you don't have to move into a new space in order to take advantage of a family meal reset. This can come in lots of different forms, and it can be quite small. It doesn't have to, again, be a massive move. Even just committing to having one additional meal together, that counts as resetting. Even smaller behaviors that can signal a mindset shift: put out cloth napkins, change where you eat, like take dinner out on a picnic, or turn on music. All of these are subtle signals. Okay, number 7, make small, low-stakes changes. So if carrots are a no-go right now, try them raw instead of cooked, or roasted instead of steamed. Cut apples into rings instead of wedges. Use a little cookie cutter to make a shape out of your cucumbers. Sometimes the difference between no way and yeah, okay, I'll try is as simple as changing the shape or texture. All right, number 8, I have also talked about this before. Involve your kids in the mealtime process. Let them choose a vegetable at the store to bring home. Let them stir something in the bowl. Let them sprinkle cheese on top. Let them plan an entire meal. The more involved they are, the more invested they feel. And sometimes that investment makes it more likely that they will taste what they've made or been a part of choosing. Sometimes simply having more exposure under lower pressure makes them more likely to taste. Bottom line, folks, this is a long game. You're not trying to fix picky eating in a week. You can't. You're trying to build familiarity, trust, and curiosity about food, and that takes months, maybe even years. So keep showing up, keep it low pressure, and keep making room at the table for both the foods they love and the ones that they haven't yet learned to love, because every exposure counts. Thanks for being here. I'll see you next time.